University of Alabama, as you guys know today, is one of the large public universities in the U.S., and we certainly boast as being one of the fastest growing universities in the United States over the past decade. Each year we graduate between 7,000 and 8,000 students. The majority of our students that we see going through graduation are going to be in their 20s, as they began here most often coming out of high school, maybe being 17 or 18, and then graduating maybe 4.5 years later.
How many students at the University of Alabama graduate at the age of 50 or maybe even 40?
Well, coming up for this graduation, I can think of one who's going to do that.
It is my honor to welcome the 2013 New York Jets Ring of Honor inductee number 93, Marty Lyons.
I'm running a little late this morning. Actually, don't even know where I'm going. I'm just following the boys. The journey really started in 1975. I accepted a scholarship here. You go as an 18-year-old to a place where you want to have the ability to play, but also the exposure to play, and if you're good enough, maybe make it into the NFL.
I remember I was in high school at the time, so he was one of the stars that we followed. Somebody you wanted to be like. Marty Lyons is the kind of player that Alabama wants. He's a national championship player, kind of that all-American guy you want to represent your university.
When people think of Alabama, they think of football, and of course of Coach Paul Bear Bryant, the surrogate father of some 100 boys each college semester.
Coach Bryant came from very humble beginnings. He came from a very poor area in a very depressed time. He saw football as an opportunity to get ahead in life, opportunity to go to college, not only as a profession and a career for him, but an opportunity for other people. And those things were important to him for players and assistant coaches to pass that on to the next generation.
When I got here in 1975, I remember Coach Bryant walking in front of the freshman class, and he said, there's 4 things I want you to accomplish while you're here. Number 1, always be proud of your family. Number 2, always be proud of your religion. Number 3, get an education. And number 4, if we have time, let's try to win some football games.
We feel a very strong obligation to you, and we feel like that you should to the university, because it works both ways.
Many of the players who graduated during Coach Bryant's era, who were going to the pros, would be leaving early. And Coach Bryant was very committed to his players, not just as athletes while they were at the university or athletes who turned professional, but as young men.
Coach Bryant was there for them all the time. He wanted to know about their families, about their careers, not just as football players, and what were they doing to give back.
Coach Bryant prepared every one of his players with the understanding is, I'm going to teach you the core values. I'm going to give you an opportunity to play the game of football. But when the game is over, you're going to have all the tools where you can be successful in the game of life.
Keep in mind that it doesn't take a man that shaves twice a day to be tough, because toughness is in the heart.
We won the national championship my senior year. And from there, I came back to the university and was getting ready for the fall classes. Then I started getting calls from the NFL. So by the time I actually settled back in, I was so far behind in class. I decided, you know what, let me get ready to go into the NFL. And the first person I had to, tell was Coach Bryant. So I walked in his office and he was sitting at that desk, and I said, Coach, I need to talk to you. And told him that I was so far behind that I was going to drop out. And he just stuck his hand out and he said, well, Marty, promise me one day you'll come back. You'll get your degree. Then I go into the NFL, and you play for 12 years. You start a family, and everything started to steamroll. But in the back of your mind, you always had that one promise.
They had a very special relationship. My dad talks about him all the time. He was not only a coach, but just a role model in his life.
He always has this, like deep down inspiration when he tells a story about Coach Bryant. And he always said that when he left that day out of his office and told him he wasn't coming back, he felt like he left something behind. He always told us he would come back again. I think after 30-something years, we didn't really trust him.
Coach Bryant meant so much to me. I had to figure out a way to do it. So here we sit today. It's easy when you put on a football uniform or you get ready to do an appearance because it's not your first rodeo. This is going to be my first rodeo. I'm in front of you today.
In front of me?
Yeah. Playing at the University of Alabama, you hear people talk about the rich tradition. And people go, wow, it's great to be part of that rich tradition down there. I said, what makes it special for me is I've lived it. 37 years later, when you can celebrate that moment with your family and let them know we all did this, we accomplished it. That chapter is always going to stay with you. And now I come back and I'm able to get a degree and say, hey, you know what? Everything that I accomplished at the University of Alabama has more meaning because now I have my degree.
Marty Lyons.
What a moment.
Bigger than any sack you've ever made in your life.
It goes right along with a handprint at Denny Chimes or a plaque here at the Mal Moore Center. You know, I have my degree and nobody can take that away from me.
He's always been my biggest role model. He's the only one that can hold himself accountable to this promise. And for him to do that, it shows great character.
It's not something easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it.
I love you guys, man.
All the hard work he put into getting his degree today shows me that anything's possible, even no matter how long it may take.
Dad, I'm so proud of you. You have definitely been the person in my life that I look up to, and I aspire to be that kind of person.
Remember what Coach Bryant said. A winner in the game of life is the person that gives of themselves so others can grow.